of Rich Textures Crochet, and welcome. Today we are going to learn how to crochet the Comfort and Joy Christmas stocking, which is the stocking that you see here in the photo, and I also have my samples here to show you as well. I can't fit the entire thing here in the camera on my desk, but this is it here. This is the poinsettia design. And then also included in this pattern is also a chart for this diamond design here. The stockings are quite large. They measure about 7.5 inches across by 20 inches laid flat. They have a nice opening, great for stuffing, and a hanger as well for you to hang it up. For this pattern, you are going to need a copy of the charts that are found on the free written pattern on my blog at richtexturescrochet.com. I will include the link there for you in the video. For each stocking, you are going to choose one or the other chart. You're not going to work both in each stocking. You're just going to choose one. And you are going to need it in the video. I'm only going to work about 1 or 2 rows, help you get comfortable with the color changes and following the chart, and then I'm going to leave you to complete the rest of the chart on your own. So head on over. There's also an option there to purchase a PDF copy if you would like to do so. Now, also, along with the written pattern and that chart, you're also going to need 2 different colors of yarn. I'm going to be using the Heartland yarn by Lion Brand, which is an acrylic yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn, but I find it's a little bit on the lighter side. If you're looking for something to compare and swap it with, you're going to need approximately 250 yards of each. So 2 colors. I'm going to be using the Grand Canyon, which is this tan color, for my color B, and I'll be using the Redwood, which is this red, for my color A. The green that is shown in the picture is called Joshua Tree. You're also going to need a 6mm crochet hook and a yarn needle and a pair of scissors for finishing off your work. So thank you so much for joining me, and while you're here, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out some of the other patterns and crochet stitch tutorials that are there. Why don't we grab our yarn and our hook and we'll get started. So for our pattern today, we are going to start by working at the cuff of the stocking, and this part of the pattern is worked in rounds. So you're going to be working around in a circle. You're not going to be changing directions or turning your work at the end of each round. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with your color B. So for me, that's the Grand Canyon color, and you're going to start by making a chain of 72 stitches. Once you have your chain of 72 stitches, you are going to join that chain without twisting in the first stitch with a slip stitch. So just in your first stitch there, work a slip stitch to join to make a ring. You are then going to start round 1, and for round 1 you're going to start by chaining 3, and this is going to count as a double crochet stitch. Then in the next stitch and in each stitch all the way around, you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch. At the end of this round, you will have a total of 72 stitches. At the end of round 1, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. And this is what you will have. For round 2, we're going to start working a combination of front and back post double crochet stitches. We're going to start by chaining 3, and once again this will count as a double crochet stitch. You're then going to work around the post of the next stitch a front post double crochet. To work your front post double crochet, you're going to yarn over, bring your hook to the front of your work, insert your hook from right to left around the post of the next stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through your last 2. That's your front post double crochet stitch. Next, you're going to work a back post double crochet around the next stitch. So yarn over, bring your hook to the back of your work, and around the next stitch, insert your hook from back to front around the post, out through the back again, yarn over, draw up a loop, and then complete your double crochet stitch. That's your back post double crochet. You're going to repeat that all the way around. Front post double crochet around the next stitch, followed by a back post double crochet around the next. Repeat it all the way around, and then join with a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3. At the end of round 2, you're joining with a slip stitch in the top of your chain 3. Now for rounds 3 to 5, so for 3 more rounds, you're going to simply repeat round 2. So chain 3, work a front post double crochet around the next stitch, followed by a back post around the next. Again, you're going to repeat that all the way around, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, and then join with a slip stitch in the top of your chain 3, and you're going to repeat that for a total of 3 more times. So this is rounds 3 through to 5. Work that and then meet me back here. So I have now worked rounds 1 through to 5, and this is what I have. Now I am going to, as I finish round 5, I'm going to want to switch to my color A. So there are a few ways to do this. The way that I like to change my colors is in my final stitch. I'll just pull it out here. In my final stitch, which is a front post double crochet, I like to complete that stitch with the new color. So I'm going to yarn over around the post of the next stitch, a front post. I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, and draw up a loop. I'm then going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but instead of completing the stitch, I'm going to drop that color B. I'm going to pick up my color A, place it on my hook, and pull through. So I'm now ready to start the next round with my color A. I'm going to join in the top of my chain 3 using my new color, just as I would at the end of any other round, just like so. So I'm now ready to continue working, I guess it would be sort of the neck of the sock, the long part. For this part, we are going to be working in the back loops only. To find the back loop only, you're going to look at the top of your stitch, and you will see this V. The back loop is the stitch that, or the horizontal bar that is furthest away from you. So you're only going to be inserting your hook under that loop. So for round 4 through to 5, you're going to chain 1 with your new color, and then working in the back loops only, you're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Now, because we are going to be switching back and forth between our 2 colors, it's up to you how you would like to do it. The gaps between the switches are not that far at this point, so I'm just going to let my color B hang down and leave it there while I'm working these next 2 rows, and then I'll be ready to pick it up when I need to. So continue working for the next 2 rounds in the back loop only, working 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. When you come to the end of the round, you're going to join your yarn with a slip stitch in that first stitch, then chain 1, and then complete round 5. So 2 rounds of single crochets, always in the back loop only. Now at the end of my round 5, I'm going to want to switch back to my color B. So I'm going to insert my hook in that final stitch, yarn over and drop a loop. I'm going to drop my color A, pick up my color B, which was still attached there at the back, and place it on my hook, yarn over and pull through, and then join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. Now, because I'm always working in the back loops only, I'm joining in the back loop only. I'm now ready to go with my color B. At this time, I'm going to want to head over to my chart, and from this point in the pattern through to round 40, we are going to follow this chart. I'm going to start by working this top flower or poinsettia design. Now, to follow this chart, you are always going to be working in the same direction. So I'm always going to be working from right to left, and each square in this chart equals 1 single crochet stitch. So there are a total of 72 columns because there's 72 stitches in a round, and then these are my rounds right here. So I'm going to start in the bottom right hand corner at block 1-1 down here, and I can see that in my first round here it is going to be worked in my color B. For me, for my chart, my color B is white and my color A is in red. So my color B, I'm going to work 1 round, 72 stitches in my color B. So as 1 block equals 1 single crochet stitch, in the back loop only, you're always working in the back loop only, work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around in your color B. When you come back to the beginning, you're going to want to switch back to your color A, as you can see here in the chart, and you're going to work 1 round in your color A. So at the end of my round 6, I'm dropping my color B, picking up my color A again, placing it on my hook and joining with a slip stitch in that first stitch. I'm then now going to work my round 7, which is this solid red line here on my chart. So I'm going to chain 1 in the back loop only, single crochet using my color A in each stitch all the way around. Now at the end of my round 7, if I take a look at my chart here, I can see that my round 8, my next round, is going to work, begin with a white block, so with my color B. So at the end of my round 7, I'm going to switch back to my color B and join with a slip stitch. Now in this next round, the fun is really going to begin, because we're going to be alternating back and forth between our colors A and our color B. So starting with our color B, if we take a look at our chart, we're going to work 1 in our color B, 1 in color A, 3 in color B, 1 in A, and repeat that all the way across. So we're going to start by chaining 1 in our color B. Now what I do is when the yarn is not in use, I carry it in behind my work and I work over top of it. So I'm going to be working over top of this color A. That's going to keep it in line with my work as I'm going. and it's not going to allow it to be loopy in the back. You do have to be careful when you're carrying your yarn in behind your work that you're not pulling it too tight, because you don't want it to cause your fabric to buckle, and you also don't want to leave it too loose because you don't want it showing through your stitches. So I'm going to work that first stitch into color B, and I'm going to immediately change to my color A. So in that first stitch, I'm going to insert my hook and drop a loop in my color B, but I'm going to drop it, pick up my color A, and finish the stitch. My next stitch is in color A, so insert my hook. This is the back loop only. Yarn over and drop a loop, drop my color A, pick up my color B, and complete the stitch. I'm now going to work 3 stitches in my color B and switch back to A. There's 1, 2, and you can see I'm working over top of that non-working yarn. 3, switch back, and work 1 in my color A. So that is how you follow this chart and how you change back and forth in between your colors. I am going to leave you now to complete the entire graph. So it's going to bring you through to round 40, and then meet me back here and we will pick up at round 41 and continue on together. Now at the end of round 40, you are going to have something that looks like this. And I've worked up to round 40. And then at the end of round 40, you're going to join back your color A. For rounds 41 and 42, you're going to continue working in that back loop only, and you're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and that is once again in your color A. At the end of that 42nd round, you're going to fasten off your color A and then have your color B ready, and I will show you where to join your color B. So work 2 rounds in your color A. At the end of round 42, I have fastened off my color A. I did leave my color B attached here, so it is ready to go. Now it is up to you if you wanted to fasten off that color B and weave it in. You can if you want, or else you can just do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to carefully bring it over to where I need the yarn to be. So what we're going to do is we're now going to start working the heel of the sock, and the heel of the sock is worked in rows, and I've broken it down to several or just a few pieces for you. The first part we're going to work is called the heel flap, and it forms the back of the heel. It's worked in rows, and what you're going to do is you're going to find the center stitch on your stocking, and that's the stitch where you joined there at the back. From that center stitch, you are going to count over 10 stitches. So there's your center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. And in that 10th stitch, you are going to join your color B with a slip stitch. Here you're going to be working through both loops. So simply, I just bring my color B over here. I'm going to leave it fairly loose because I'm going to work over top of it on my way back. So just bring your yarn through, join it with a slip stitch, and we're ready to go. The heel of the sock is worked in rows, as I mentioned, and we're working under both loops. So for row 1 of the heel flap, we're going to, with our color B, work under both loops, and we're going to single crochet in the same stitch as joining, and then in each of the next 20 stitches across. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10, $15, 19, and 20. You're then going to leave the remaining stitches unworked, and you're going to turn. You're now going to, for rounds 2 to 8, so for 7 more rows, for rows 2 to 8, you're simply going to chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch all the way across, turn, chain 1, single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So for a total of 8 rows, you will have rows of 21 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work that. You want to work 7 more rows of single crochets, and here you're working under both loops. At the end of row 8, this is what your project is going to look like, and this is looking at it from the back. For row 9, at row 9 we're going to start to shape the heel. So what we're going to do for row 9 is we're going to chain 1, you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches, starting with your first one. So work 16 single crochet across. And there's 10. And 16. You're then going to turn, leaving those remaining 5 stitches unworked. Chain 1, sorry about that, and row 10, you're going to single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. There's 5. And 11. You will have 5 stitches remaining unworked on the other side. For row 11, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. You're then going to work a single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. Eight, 9, 10, and 11. You're then going to jump down to the row 2 rows below and work a single crochet in that next stitch 2 rows down. You're going to have to pull it a little bit tighter. You're then going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. For row 12, you're going to skip that slip stitch, and work a single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. There's 10, 11, and 12. You're then going to make that little jump again, and in the next stitch 2 rows below, work a single crochet stitch, pulling it a little bit tighter, and then slip stitch in the next stitch. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work. For row 13, you're going to skip that slip stitch, and in the next stitch you're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. (11, 12, and 13). You're then going to make that little jump. In the next stitch, 2 rows below, single crochet and slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. For row 14, you're going to skip that slip stitch. In the next stitch, you're going to single crochet, and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 14 stitches. And 14. You're then going to single crochet in the next stitch, 2 rows below, and slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. For row 15, you're going to skip that slip stitch, and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 15 stitches. There's 10, 14, and 15. You're then going to single crochet in the next stitch, 2 rows below, and that's all you're going to do for row 15. You're then going to chain 1 and turn your work. For row 16, you're going to single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. Need to get some more yarn here. There's 16, and then single crochet in the next stitch, and we're now going to continue working down the side of our heel. So you're then going to work along the side of your heel. You're going to work 8 more single crochet stitches, and you're going to space them out fairly evenly. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch on the sock body, like so. Chain 1 and turn your work, leaving the remaining stitches unworked. For row 17, you've chained 1, you're going to skip that first slip stitch, and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 25 stitches. There's 5. There's 10. $15. And 20. And 25. Then working along the other side of your heel, you're going to work 8 single crochet stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then slip stitch into the next stitch down on the body of your sock. At this time, you can now fasten off your color B and weave in your ends. So now the heel of your sock is going to look like this, and when you fold it over, it'll be fairly even, and it's going to sit just like that at the back of your sock. So that's your heel right there. Now what you're going to do is you want to join back your color A. So you're going to grab some color A there, and you're going to find the center stitch at the back of your heel. So I just folded my heel. You can see the center stitch there, and you're going to join your yarn in the back loop only with a slip stitch. We're now going to continue working the foot of the sock, and this is going to be worked with color A and in rounds. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, and you're going to single crochet in the back loop only in each of the next 15 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to bring you down the side of your heel. 6, and 10. It's actually going to be 16 stitches. After you have worked a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches, you're going to single crochet 3 together, and that stitch is going to be worked in the back loop only. The first leg is in the next stitch, so insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. The next leg is going to be into the stitch where you worked your slip stitch. So into the slip stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. And then once again in the next stitch on the body of your sock. Insert your hook, yarn over, and draw up a loop. So you're going to have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops. You're then going to single crochet in each of the next 46 stitches. So you're going to come all the way around back to the stitch prior to where your heel begins, prior to that next slip stitch. So work in the back loop only, single crochet in each of the next 46 stitches. After you've worked 1 single crochet in each of the next 46 stitches, you're going to single crochet 3 together, working the first leg in the next stitch, and then your slip stitch, and then the first stitch on your heel. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. You're then going to work a single crochet stitch in each of the next 15 stitches. There's 5. And 10. And then you're going to join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. Chain 1, and for round 2 of your foot, you're going to, in the back loop only, single crochet in each of the next 15 stitches. Five. 10. 15. Single crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches. And then single crochet in each of the next 44 stitches. After you've single crocheted in each of the next 44 stitches, you're going to single crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches, and then single crochet in each of your final 14 stitches. There's 10. And 14. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch and chain 1. For round 3, you are going to, in the back loop only, single crochet in each of the next 14 stitches. There's 5. And 14. You're going to single crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches, and single crochet in each of the next 42 stitches. After you've single crocheted in each of the next 42, you're going to single crochet 3 together, and then single crochet in each of the remaining 13 stitches. 13. Join with the slip stitch in the first stitch. You've now worked your final decrease stitches. At the end of that round, you're going to have a total of 71 stitches. We're now going to work 25 rounds of single crochet in each stitch. So chain 1 and simply work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, so for a total of 71 stitches. And you're going to do that for a total of 25 rounds. So this is your rounds 4 through to 28. Single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Join with the slip stitch in that first stitch, chain 1, and work another round of single crochets, always working in your back loop only. At the end of round 28, you can join, fasten off your color A and join your color B and get ready to work the toe of your stocking. At the end of round 28, you're going to join your color B in your final stitch. You can join your yarn with a slip stitch in that first stitch. And then fasten off that color A. We're now going to begin the decrease rounds on the toe of our sock. These again are worked in the back loop only. It's up to you though if you'd like, because we did work the heel under 2 loops. It's up to you if you'd like to also work the toe under 2 loops, but I've worked it in the back loop only. We're going to start for the first of our decrease rounds. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. And 8. You're then going to single crochet 2 together, insert your hook in the next stitch and drop a loop, insert your hook in the next stitch and drop another loop, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3 loops, and then you're going to repeat that. Single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches, followed by a single crochet 2 together. Repeat that all the way around and join your yarn with a slip stitch in the first stitch. At the end of this round, you'll have 2 stitches there. After your last single crochet 2 together, you'll just single crochet in each. Join your yarn with a slip stitch. At the end of that round 1, you're going to have a total of 65 stitches. For round 2, you're then going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 7 stitches. And then single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, single crochet in each of the next 7, followed by a single crochet 2 together. At the end of the round, you're going to join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. At the end of round 2, you're going to have a total of 58 stitches. For round 3, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. And then you're going to single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around and then join with a slip stitch in your first stitch. At the end of round 3, you're going to have a total of 51 stitches. For round 4, you're going to chain 1, single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. and then single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around and then join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. At the end of round 4, you're going to have a total of 44 stitches. For round 5, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And then work a single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, and when you come back to your first stitch, you're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of that stitch. At the end of round 5, you're going to have a total of 37 stitches. For round 6, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, followed by a single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, and at the end of this round, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. At the end of round 6, you're going to have a total of 36 stitches. For round 7, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, followed by a single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, and at the end of this round, you're going to join with a slip stitch in that first stitch. At the end of this round, you will have a total of 23 stitches. For round 8, you're going to chain 1. You're going to single crochet in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet 2 together. You're going to repeat that all the way around, single crochet, followed by a single crochet 2 together, all the way around, and at the end of this round, you're going to have a total of 16 stitches. The final round of your sock is round 9. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to at this time single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So at the end of this round, you're still going to have a total of 16 stitches. And you'll have a little bit of an opening at your toe. Almost all the way around here. At the end of that round, you're going to join with a slip stitch through both loops, and you're going to fasten off your work, and at this time you're going to leave a little bit of a long tail. You're going to use that long tail to sew the toe of your sock closed, so you'll have an opening like this. To sew your toe closed, I turned my sock inside out. Then using my yarn needle, and I found the heel because I wanted it. I just laid it flat like that. Then taking your yarn needle, you're going to thread your yarn through your yarn needle, and then I just did a quick stitch all the way around, just like so, working through both thicknesses. Once you have sewn across the end, you're going to secure it, and then you're just going to weave in your ends. fasten off, you can go ahead and weave in any other ends that you may have missed in your sock. Then you can turn it back right side out. And your sock is now nearly complete. Your toe is finished. Now what we're going to do is we are going to, and I have my other sock here with the diamonds on it, and I'm just going to show you there up at the top. We're going to learn how to fasten a fastener just like this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll take out the one that I just worked, and we're going to work the hanger together. Now the hanger for your sock is quite simple. You're going to want to lay your sock flat, and I have my heel here pressed so that I can find the center back of my cuff. Then into my cuff, I'm just going to turn it in here. I haven't woven any of my ends. And into the center back, I'm just going to take my yarn and my hook, and wherever you would like that hanger to hang, you're going to join your yarn with a slip stitch. Okay. You're then going to chain a total of 15 chains. There's 10 and 15. Once you have those 15 chains there, you're then going to just go over to the side a little bit on your stocking, and you're going to join once again with a slip stitch. You're then going to chain one, and you're simply going to slip stitch in each stitch all the way along your chain. So I worked in the back bumps only and just slip stitch all the way across. Just like so. And when you come back to the place where you originally joined, you're just going to once again join with a slip stitch into that spot or into another spot. You just want to make sure that you have it quite secure, especially if you plan on stuffing these stockings. So then you're going to fasten off, and at that point you're going to secure and weave in any ends as needed. But there you go, and that is your hanger for your sock. So that is how you work this Comfort and Joy Christmas stocking. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. Once again, I invite you to subscribe, and until next time, happy crocheting. Bye!